Brothers, what is up? I was thinking the other day about all of the stuff that I have learned and acquired, all the tips and tools and tactics throughout my life, throughout my journey. For those that know me, you know I grew up skinny. I had asthma, I had allergies, but I overcame all that stuff. I was able to put on 40 pounds of muscle and mass. Not all perfect, not all pretty. In fact, a lot of the stuff I did the wrong way. But over time, with enough obsession and discipline and willpower, I was able to figure a lot of stuff out. I was also able to get healthy and ultimately, for the most part, improve allergies, absolutely improve allergies, but also I was able to overcome that asthma. So at the end of the day, when I talk about being jacked and healthy, I'm just referring to looking, feeling, and performing at an optimal level, being strong, which is what I am at 51 years of age. I'm stronger than I ever thought I would be. And walking around with a 32-inch waist and looking good and feeling good and measuring all this out to be able to say that I'm healthy with objective data like blood work, using the Oura ring, blood pressure, etc. So look, if you're following me because you want to learn how to build $1 million business overnight, I haven't done that yet. I have no credibility there. But if you're perhaps just a normal guy that's looking to, get a little more jacked and a lot more healthy, you might want to listen to some of the things that at least have worked well for me, and hopefully they can serve you. So I want to share some tactics and tools that have served me very well. A lot of this I was learning and doing 20 years ago, so sometimes I tend to just kind of assume that people know this. You may know some of this, you may not. But really the idea here is hopefully it can help you. Admittedly, I want to go wide and not deep. So I'm just going to pepper you with a lot of stuff, and I'll follow up with future shorts and videos to go deeper on some of this stuff. So let's talk about some of these things that have served me well. Drinking water and drinking plenty of water. Maybe we start there. So when I wake up first thing in the morning in that AM, I chug 16 ounces of clean water. That water is there. It's in a container. It's next to my bathroom sink. It's ready for me. It's waiting on me. By clean water for me, it's either distilled, RO, or ultra filtered. I just don't want to do tap water. I think everybody should, if nothing else, test their tap water to see what's going on with that. Chances are you're not going to be impressed, and you're going to want to do some sort of filtering, distillation. Just make sure it's clean water. Otherwise, one can go down a lot of rabbit holes when it comes to the best water. They're purest out there, and at the end of the day, drink good, clean water. Drink plenty of it. I start my day with 16 ounces. From there, I'll go and grab some coffee in connection with the wife. My coffee is black with 2 stevias, so I'm not adding cream, not adding sugar. Over time, I just think that has served me well. That allows me to, after that coffee and connection, to go get on the treadmill. That's upstairs, overlooking nature, which is my backyard, swimming pool. I've got a vision board up. This is where I'm not only getting steps in to burn fat, but I'm getting my mind right. I'm touching the heart. I'm going through what I'm grateful for. I'm prepping and planning the day. This routine has served me very well. Admittedly, I didn't always do that. I would jump up, slam some coffee, do what I needed to do, shave, shower, and get out the door to go to work when I was in corporate America. Some of you are still in that situation. I got it. I understand. But on your way to work, perhaps what I did that worked well for me is I turned off that AM conservative talk show and radio, the stuff that I perhaps agreed with, but it made me angry. Instead, I spent time on feeding myself good stuff. The last 7 years where I was in corporate America, I was just devouring YouTube, as much good information as I could get. So I did that for a number of years. So my AMs, I will go for that walk. Sometimes that walk is actually in nature as well, which is where I am now. Look at this. This is just calming for me. It's soothing. To me, nature is medicine. I've learned that in life, the more time I spend in connection with nature, with other men, with other people. If I want to hear from God, I need to go get connected. Funny how that works. All right, so that's another tactic and strategy and tool that has served me well, is spending some time in nature and getting connected. Pretty much every day I need this. Not need, but I perform better. I'm my best self when I'm connected. Let's just say that. Another thing that has served me well is I try to eat, let's talk food for a second here, as clean as I can. There was a time where I was about 80% organic. I was probably in my mid-30s. I'm 51 now. I don't even try to do that anymore. I will eat organic where I can. I will eat food that has once lived, if at all possible. If I put it on the shelf, if it can go bad, sour, die, then it has probably once lived. That's a good rule of thumb for me. Most of you have heard of the parameter of a grocery store. I like the parameter of a grocery store. I start hitting the center aisles. And actually, I don't even go to the grocery store. My wife does that for me. I'm very blessed. But, you know, you got all the packages and the boxed and whatnot. So kind of rule of thumb, the more that man has touched it, the more that's probably got some crap in it, preservatives, chemicals, and whatnot. So again, I don't try to live in a box. I'm not 100% organic at all. I'm not saying that. But I just try to eat cleaner food that has once lived. I know it works well for my body, my body type. Perhaps blood type even has something to do with it. And there's a book out on that. I'm not endorsing the book by any means. But when I eat for my blood type, which is an O, which for me is meats, I feel fantastic. And I can also measure that with quantitative data, and my blood work is exactly where it needs to be. If I eat a bunch of breads and grains and tannins from wine, not eat but drink, I just feel lethargic. I don't feel good. So I've sort of learned my body, and so maybe that's something you can consider as well. So that's what I'm doing with food. By the way, I'm eating, and I have for 20 plus years, 25 years, eaten 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if I'm sitting at 180 pounds, then I'm eating 180 grams of protein per day. And then I'll just adjust carbs and fats accordingly. I eat carbs mainly for energy and performance. That has served me very well for so long. I spent my 30, that whole decade, it seems like, low carbing and leaning. It worked up to a point. The problem is I was tired for a decade, to be honest with you. I left muscle on the table. I left pumps on the table. Pumps are fun in the gym. And so what I do now is I find if I go 100 grams or less in any day of carbs, I just get tired. And I absolutely know there's an argument to go below that, go ahead and get into ketosis. What I found for me years ago was ketosis was just a great way for me to lose muscle. At the time, I think I went from benching 225 pounds, 225 for like 20 reps, down to like 7 or 8 reps. And I'm paraphrasing and summarizing, so those aren't exact reps. But the bottom line is, without that glycogen in the muscles, I just didn't have the endurance and the stay power that I wanted in the gym. So what I've learned, my hack is if I want to start leaning, so say I'm running around at 200 grams of carbs a day. If I want to start a leaning process, and I'm currently starting that now, then I'll drop it down to about 180 grams a day. And I'll run that for a couple of weeks, and I'll pull it down to about 150 grams a day, and then I'm going to ultimately pull it down to about 120 grams a day, roughly. So protein is constant. Fat's pretty constant. I want enough healthy fats in there, both saturated and unsaturated, animal-based and plant-based fats for my health. And then I use those carbs for energy, especially around my workouts, weight training. I always want carbs around my workout. But with that said, what I find is if I go too hard, if I pull carbs down too much, too fast, too low, I run out of energy. And to be honest with you, with my goals these days of being the best dad and husband and friend and leader that I can be, I need energy. Bottom line, quality of life matters to me. And so that's essentially what I do around diet. It has worked very well for me and many others. And I'm thinking about the men in Thumos, and especially the men in Thumos Strong, which is the fitness and health portion of Thumos, where we really go deep and help these men optimize. I also say earn your carbs, by the way. So if I'm more active, if I'm working out hard, I probably have a higher carb day. Carbs that aren't earned tend to store as fat. Go figure. Working out with weights, I think it's a must for everybody, or at least some sort of resistance training, weights or not. I'm a fan of weights because I think men ought to be strong, mind, body, and spirit. But that said, push-pull legs is my current routine. To be honest with you, I recommend it for so many men because it works. It works for beginners. If a guy says, look, I can give 3 days a week, that's it, I'm busy, I got a business, I got a family, cool, push-pull legs, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever days you want to do it on, it doesn't matter. You need the weekends free, we can work that out, whatever it looks like. push-pull legs. If a guy says I can do 4 days a week or 5 days a week, cool. Push-pull legs, rest, rinse and repeat. 6 days a week, cool. Push-pull legs, rest, push-pull legs. There's other splits out there I've used. There's the old bro split. Nothing wrong with that. There's no perfect split. It kept me sore a lot when I would do 18 sets of chest every Monday. So these days, as I'm older, and more importantly, as I appreciate energy, a sore Jody, a sore person makes for ultimately sometimes a tired Jody or tired person. So there's something to be said for just breaking down the muscle just a little bit instead of tearing it way down to where the body's got a whole bunch of rebuilding to do. Morning routines and nighttime routines have served me very well. And I've especially gotten good routine with this. Well, it's been a while, but I've really got this dialed in the last, a couple years. I average an 85 sleep score via the Aura. So morning routine, I get up, I slam the water, as I told you, black coffee connection, and go for a walk, get my mind right, etc. Serves me well. Start the day high. When shit happens, there's a whole lot of space to fall before you hit the ground. So don't start the day here, start the day way high, because then you've got a whole lot of space for the stuff that's going to come up. Ending the day, I'm really thinking here, especially sort of nighttime routine, and getting good sleep. Because sleep is all about, it's vital for proper rest and recovery and performing at our best. But pretty much going to the bed pretty much the same time every night. For me, that's around 9:30 to 10. I drop the phone and the blue light. I get off of that. I need about 30 minutes, preferably before bed. I clear caffeine fast. Some do not. So I'll drop caffeine around 2 p.m. Some need to get off caffeine, even tea, around 12. So genetically, people are different, but so know how fast you clear that caffeine and make sure that you've got it out of your body, out of your system before going to bed. I go to bed, of course, and sleep at my best in a dark room, in a cold room. By dark, I'm just using the sleep mask. I find it works very well. When I travel, I'm bringing the sleep mask, absolutely. Cold room for me is about 69 to 70 F. Some need colder, just to be honest with you. Unfortunately, my light bill, energy bill is already high enough. I don't want to go colder. So I go up as high as I can to be comfortable, but more importantly, to get the number that I want on that sleep score. I do not eat a big meal before bed. I'll just tell you that. I've learned that. I can get lean, and you probably can too, eating big meals before bed, because macros and calories both count. They both matter. But if I want to get deep sleep, I don't eat big before bed. It's almost like the body goes, hey man, you can digest food or you can get deep sleep, but we're not going to give you both. Go figure. With that said, I'll eat something light like Greek yogurt. I like the casein protein in that. I'll eat that about 8 p.m. I eat dinner around 6, maybe eat a little yogurt about 8 p.m. and then go to bed, whatever that is, an hour and a half, 2 hours later. I like that slow kind of releasing protein, as it just sort of releases protein into the blood system throughout the night. And I tend to sleep well. I also take 5 HTP. I like it a lot for releasing serotonin naturally, and it helps me sleep as measured via the Oura Ring, specifically deep sleep. I also love 400 milligrams of magnesium in the form of glycinate. I take it myself every single night. I take it in the PM with dinner, but also recommend, with good results, very good results, people take it before bed. 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate. And I currently love Life Extension brand of vitamins just because I find that the value is fantastic. And by value, I'm talking about efficacy and cost. There's probably other brands out there, but Life Extension, I've been following them for over 2 decades, and they've been around so long. I love those guys, and I don't make any money off of them. All right, so I've covered a lot. Cardio, natural. I like walking. It's active recovery. In other words, it doesn't further tear down muscles like sprints can and do. And look, I love sprints too. I think a 51-year-old ought to be able to sprint the football field and chase his kids. And I can do that. But with that said, it's going to further tear down the legs and the leg muscles So I just got to plan for that around my workouts, my weight training. But walking can be pretty much be done anytime, anywhere. Legs are sore, go walk. It's active recovery. In other words, it's a good thing. Want to burn some calories? Go walk. I like 10,000 steps a day. It has served me very well. That's in addition to lifting weights. If I'm not lifting weights and just walking, I could set a higher goal for that, 12,000, whatever. There's days I get 11,000, 19,000, but about 10,000 is sort of my rule of thumb. I told you this was going to be wide. Hopefully you're still with us. It wasn't deep, but I just wanted to give you guys some things to think about in order perhaps, so hopefully improve your life from a health standpoint. One more thing. I try to not intentionally introduce toxins into my body. If man has made it and touched it, if it smells good, for example, then it's fake, it's artificial, it's an aromatic, volatile organic compound. I try not to add that. I don't need additional toxins in my body. So you're probably never going to see, one of these air fresheners hanging from my mirror in my vehicle. You're probably never going to see like a Glade plug-in in my house. You're probably never going to see me putting on natural cologne. Jeez, can't even think this morning. I wear natural deodorant, charcoal-based. I've never sweat a whole lot, so I don't need perhaps someone needs an aluminum-based antiperspirant, but I don't like the idea of an aluminum being underneath. I'm going to use a Glade plug-in in the house so that it smells good. Can I go measure the harm in my body? Probably not, because I don't think that's going to elevate the enzymes of my liver, but I don't see any good coming out of that. A volatile organic compound like that, I don't want to add to an already toxic environment in which we already live. I don't want to add to that. Probably not going to run an air freshener hanging off the mirror of my vehicle. You're probably not going to see me doing that because I don't think it's healthy. Can I prove it? Probably not, but I don't care. I think this has served me well. I'm not going to put a bunch of lotions on my skin with a bunch of chemicals on them because this potentially can absorb through the skin. If my skin is dry, it's not almost never, because I take 2 grams of fish oil a day. I think that's a big contributor to keeping my skin moist. I also live in a humid environment, so that helps. But if I were going to put something on my skin, I would strongly consider coconut oil. If I can eat it, I can put it on my skin, no problem. So I just try to stay as natural as possible, and I watch the artificial stuff. What I should be doing, full disclosure that I'm not, is I probably ought to be getting in the dry sauna. I think there's enough studies out there that shows there's some amazing healing abilities of a dry sauna. The heat shock proteins and causing the body to sweat, and the good things that it'll do. So that's probably going to be a move that I'll do fairly soon. Anyway, I wanted to share those with you. Like I said, I did go wide versus deep, but my hope here is to throw some things at you. Hopefully you've heard something in this that you hadn't really thought of before. Perhaps you got some questions. Reach out to me, man. I'm happy to help. It's what I do. It's what I love. It's my purpose in life, is to help people, especially men. Why men? Because I'm a man. It's where I feel comfortable. I've got credibility. I've got 3 boys, and I'm pretty decent at getting to the root cause and being honest with men in order to help them make an impact, break through, unlock their potential. So if you like any of this, I appreciate it if you would share this, hit the like button, subscribe, the notification button, so that you'll know when the videos pop up. And I appreciate you. Take care.